Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with a story time. The window is open, so sorry if you hear any voices, and also I'm feeding my daughter over here, so if you're hearing sounds, that's her feeding. So today I'm going to be telling you my labour and delivery story and pretty much my marriage story. So many people already know that I was engaged. So on the evening of June 10th, I was having some pains in the middle of the night, and I'd had cramping throughout my pregnancy, but these cramps were a bit different. So I'd read before about Braxton Hicks, so I'd had a few of those, so I knew all about that. So when I'd gone to my antenatal class, they told me about the mucus plug and all things like that. I'm not going to explain all of that in this video because it's quite a lot, but you can do your research. The mucus plug is just basically a plug that closes the cervix pretty much, so your baby can't come out. So I was expecting to see the mucus plug at some point, which would show that I was going to go into labour, because this was 2 weeks before my due date. My due date was end of June. So this evening I couldn't sleep at all because I was cramping, and these cramps were different, but I had, obviously this is my first child, I had no idea what labour was going to feel like, so I did not think it was labour at all. So I was going through these cramps, and normally I might go and wake up my mum or something, but I thought, you know what, they're just cramps, it's probably nothing, I'll just deal with it myself. So Braxton Hicks, I'd read that if you change position, then the cramps will stop. So I was changing position and then it wasn't as bad, so I figured, okay, these must be Braxton Hicks, because if it was labour it would stay the same. So the cramps were coming in quite regularly, about every 10 minutes or so. So it was like I was getting into my sleep and then bang, the cramp would come. So then I barely got any sleep that whole night. I woke up and I was literally exhausted. So it was about 8 or 9 in the morning. I'd woken up, and this was the date of me and my husband getting married. So I woke up, all my family were already awake, we were getting ready. So I took a shower and I saw this red thing come out just a little bit, and I figured that must be the mucus plug. It was just a really small thing, so I just thought it must be part of the mucus plug, but obviously I didn't know what the mucus plug looked like. So I told my mum, and she said, yeah, that must be the mucus plug, which means that labour's going to come soon. But we had no idea it was going to come that day. So I was having cramps and I was telling my mum, and then I was sick, so I vomited. I don't think I'd had breakfast yet. So I vomited. I told my mum, she's like, are you sure you're not in labour? I was like, no, I don't think so. I'm sure I would know if I was in labour. And the cramps weren't that close together yet. So I carried on getting ready. These cramps were still coming. It got to the point where I literally had to stop doing my makeup and like stand and lean on something just while these cramps were happening. And then once it stopped, I went back to do my makeup. Mom was like, are you sure you're not in labour? I was like, listen mom, we paid to get married, so regardless if I'm in labour or not, we are getting married today. So carried on getting ready. These cramps were coming. I think I was sick about 2 to 3 times, and my mom just kept asking me, am I sure I can do this? Am I sure that I'm okay? I said, yes, we are getting married today. So this was June 11th. So we went to the registry office. My husband was there, he was in his car, so I knocked on his window just to let him know that we were there. So we went inside the registry office and I told him that I could potentially be in labour. Before I got there, I'd messaged him and he was like, what, are you sure? And my husband is the type of person that anything to do with me being in pain or me not being well, he just panics a little bit. So especially labour, he just knew that it would be the worst pain of my life, so he was quite worried. I was like, are you sure? Are you going to be okay? Like, he was just asking me, like, am I fine? And while we were waiting for the people to come and do the ceremony, I was still going through the cramps. So we had a pre-ceremony meeting, me and my husband, and they were just talking to us and just filling out the certificate and stuff. So we told them that I'm possibly in labour. And they're like, oh my gosh, like it's something that you never hear. Who gets married in labour? It was just ridiculous. So as we're sitting there, they're asking us questions and stuff. I'm literally cramping, and the cramps are getting closer together. So my sister was basically, she wasn't timing the contractions, but she was timing how close they were together. So she wasn't timing how long the contractions were lasting. We didn't think to do that, but she was timing the distance between each contractions, and it was getting to like 2 minutes. So it started from about maybe 10, then it went to like 6, then it went to 5, and that was in the space of a couple minutes. So now it was like I was getting contractions every 2 to 3 minutes. So that's when we were thinking, okay, listen, I'm in labour right now. So because the people knew that I was in labour, they did the ceremony quite quickly, because they said it would usually be about 20 to 25 minutes. We were in there for probably even less than 10 minutes. So me and my husband, we got married, we signed the registry and everything, and then we went outside. So it was a nice day, it was nice and sunny. So my best friend was there. She was like, oh, let's take some pictures. So I'm walking to go and take a picture, bang, contraction comes. So I had to go on the stairs and literally hold onto the ground. My mum was like, listen, forget the pictures, we need to go home and you need to call the midwife. So I got home, I phoned the midwife, and I just told them, like, I'm contracting, it's coming every 2 to 3 minutes. They were like, how long is each contraction lasting? And honestly, I didn't even know how long they were lasting. So I can't remember what I told her, but she said, okay, phone when the contractions are I think lasting 1 minute. Yeah, I told her that they were lasting about 15 seconds, because obviously I'm not counting in my head, am I? I'm in pain. So I just said 15 seconds because it didn't feel like it was that long. So after that she said, okay, phone when they're about 5 minutes apart, lasting 45 seconds. So we said, okay. So after that, my sister started timing how long the contractions were lasting, and they were literally over a minute, up to 2 minutes. That's when we knew, okay, listen, I need to phone her back. So I told her, she was like, oh, but you said that every 15 seconds. Listen, I wasn't counting. I was not counting. I'm in pain. I'm not counting. I told her, yeah, my sister started counting them. I was guessing before. So she was like, okay, come in. So I went to change my clothes. I went to wash my face because, sorry, I'm not trying to be full face beat in labour, because I wanted to have a water bath as well. I'm not taking this beat into the water. It's not happening. People like to be doing their fancy photos and stuff. Not me. Sorry, I need to be comfortable, and I don't want makeup on my face, sweating it off. No. Mom was like, oh, it would be funny if you came in with your wedding dress. No. Sorry. No. It's not happening. I need to change. I need to be comfortable. So I changed my clothes, took my makeup off, and we got into the car. So literally it was my husband, my mum, my 2 sisters, my best friend. My gran was there also at the ceremony, but because she's an elderly lady, my mum took her home because we didn't know how long we'd be at the hospital for, so she wouldn't be comfortable. So we got to the birth centre. I was literally still contracting, so they took us straight to a room. Listen, Whittington, their hospital, their birth centre is so nice. I just felt so comfortable. Then they have this huge pool. I was like, yes, this is what I need to be getting in. So they checked how dilated I was. I was 4 centimeters dilated, and the time was about 1 o'clock when we got there. So I'm there contracting. My husband went to get everyone food, so I'm there trying to eat, but I was being sick. I couldn't even get a full nugget in my mouth. As soon as I put the nugget in my mouth, I chewed it, swallowed it, and it all came back up. And it was starting to come up as bile because I didn't have food in my stomach. So then the nurse said that the midwife said that if I'm sick one more time, that they'll give me anti-sickness injection. So they gave me gas and air also, and I was sucking the life out of this thing. Every contraction I had, I was sucking the life out of it, and I think I wasn't sucking it enough. So the nurse said, listen, really draw it in. So I started doing it properly, and oh my gosh, my head was literally floating because I kept sucking this thing in because of the pain. And I remember I kept asking, is it too late for epidural? Mum was like, yeah, it's too late. I don't think it was too late, but you know, I think if it had actually come down to it, I didn't want it because I've said that I do not want any pain relief. So they kept offering it to me. They're like, there was this other one, I think pills or something, and they said that I need to eat before I can have that. And I couldn't, yeah, I couldn't eat. So obviously I couldn't have that pain relief. But to be honest, I did it anyway without the pain relief. I just had the gas in it. So I was still taking this gas in there. The contractions were getting closer and closer. The midwives are coming in, just checking on me. They said that I can use the ball. So I had the ball, and honestly, my best friend, she took charge. Like, first of all, it was my mum. I wouldn't say I'm a mummy's girl, but when it comes to when I'm ill or I'm not feeling well, I just want my mum. So I just kept asking. I was like, oh, mom, make it stop. She's like, listen, this is what you're gonna have to go through. There's nothing I could do. Like, my mom is very straightforward, and obviously there is nothing that she can do. The baby's coming. I'm gonna have to get her out at some point. So I was still going through these contractions. So afterwards, my best friend took over from my mum, and she just did an amazing job. I'll attach clips if I can. There's one clip where she's literally lifting up my gown and she's trying to look. I don't know, she didn't even know what she was doing. I think she was trying to see if the head was there. But she was honestly amazing.
In Jesus' name, Lord, Lord, we thank you. We thank you for life that you're bringing into this world, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Got the show.
Oh, it's a broke.
Well, yeah, there's that mucus that, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This girl wants to come. This girl wants to come.
And I feel like her vagina's kind of being pressed upon.
It's fine.
Towels, do we got towels?
To give her a towel somewhere.
Where is it?
Yeah.
What's that? Mucus, not really water.
And then so I was still having this gas in there every time the contractions were coming. When the contractions would stop, I'd try and eat, but then I was sick again. So they came in and they gave me the anti-sickness injection, and after that I was fine. But I just did not feel like eating at all, obviously because of the pain. So then I think I was leaning on the bed, and all I feel is like something come out. So I looked down and there was like a little like thing there, and then there was drops of water. So I think my water had broken. So I said, Mum, I think my water's broken. And she said, oh, that's the mucus plug. But then there was water there as well, so I think my water had probably broken at that same time as well. So after that, still going through these contractions, it had been about 3 hours, and then I just said, okay, I feel like I need to poo. Sorry, this is TOI, but I just said I didn't care who was there, I just said, I feel like I need to poo. Mum said, oh no, that means you need to push. So she quickly went and got the midwife and said, okay, she feels like she needs to poo, so she needs to push. So the midwife came, she said, do you want to go into the tub? I was like, yes. So she got the water ready, and then I took my gown and everything off, and then I went in the tub. So my best friend was still there. She was rubbing my back, she was holding my hand. I was probably squeezing the life out of her hand, but she didn't complain once. She was just literally rubbing my back, making sure that I was okay. I was just there crying. Like, I was like, oh mom, like I just kept calling for my mom. My husband was in the corner just scared. He didn't even know what to do, bless him. So yeah, I was just in the tub, and they just started telling me to push, and every time I felt a contraction, I should just give a big push. So every time I felt a contraction, I was pushing, and it felt like I was pushing for years. But then it turned out I was actually only pushing for 14 minutes, but it felt like a lifetime. So I was pushing every time a contraction came, and then the worst part is when the head is right there, like when the head is crowning. The burn, oh my gosh, it was horrible. I was like, these contractions need to hurry up so I can push faster, because the burn as the head is coming out, oh my goodness, it is so bad. The rest of it isn't as bad, but when the head is coming, nope. So as soon as her head came out, her shoulders had to come out, so I could feel her turning in me. I was like, oh, it was just weird. So the next contraction came, I pushed, and then she just came right out. Honestly, as soon as she came out, I started crying because it was such an emotional thing. it's such an emotional thing, just holding your baby for the first time, just knowing that you carried them for all that time. It was so emotional, but it was an amazing experience. So honestly, I figured after that I was like, I probably wouldn't want more children, but of course I'll still have more children. But it's just when the head is coming, that is just the worst thing ever. But after that, it was such an emotional experience. My husband, I could literally see the tears in his eyes. Of course, that's both of our first child, so it was an emotional thing. And my mom, she just kept telling the midwives that we got married in the morning and then I'd given birth that afternoon, which is just crazy. They were like, wow, we have never heard such a story. And bear in mind, we were in hospital for 2 days because my daughter had a couple of breathing problems. Every single midwife that came to see us had heard of the story of us getting married in the morning and giving birth that afternoon. It was actually crazy. Even people that didn't even know it was us, my mom had told them, and then she was like, oh, it was you. I was like, oh my gosh, is there anybody on this ward that does not know? Because we got moved to labour ward afterwards, but everyone in the birth centre and everyone on the labour ward knew about that story, and it was just absolutely crazy. But all in all, I was in labour for less than 24 hours, which is absolutely crazy for a first time birth, because usually I'm seeing people that up to 72 hours they'll be in labour. I was actually so lucky. Even the midwife was like, you were made to have babies, because it's just crazy. She said the next one I should just have a home birth, because I literally had no complications, no problems. Just had the tiniest tear, but it wasn't even a perineum tear. So literally everything just went smoothly. So like I said, pushed in 14 hours, and from when we got to the hospital, which is at 1 o'clock, she was born at 4:48 p.m. So I was literally there for about 3 hours 48 minutes and she come. So yeah, it was less than 48 hours, which is absolutely crazy, but I am not complaining. I just hope the rest come even quicker, because it's a nice experience, but it's not at the same time. It's very painful, but it's not as bad as some people make it out to be. But obviously it depends on each person. I was lucky that mine went smoothly. My mum's pregnancies and labours also went smoothly, so it could be a genetic thing also. So maybe if your mother had a difficult pregnancy or labour, you could possibly have a difficult pregnancy or labour. So I'd say speak to your mum and ask her about her experience, because throughout my pregnancy it made me and my mum closer, because I was able to relate to her more. And I think we have a better relationship now, because me being a mother, I can now see what she went through, and it makes me appreciate her a lot more. But yeah, that is the story of when I gave birth on my wedding day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Do not forget to comment, like and subscribe for more. Bye.